babies, did they ever come to fruition? Did you ever see the babies? Or
Not.
You've never?
Not.
After the hospital, you've never seen the baby?
Up until this very moment.
And what was her communication around your attempts to try and see the baby?
She fobbed me off very simply. We say, so that's
all she said?
So she said. And she maintained that for 3 years, going into the 4th year now. She has maintained that stance.
So now you mentioned something about being aware of the second, I lack a better word to describe it, but in the beginning of this interview you told me that she had a problem of lying. And I take it that when you say that the second discovery that you made was with her character and how she had gone on about this whole pregnancy issue.
Now the second discovery, it's one that actually devastated me. Because she has a son who is 18, 19 years, Tebogo. Tebogo, I met him at the plaza. Emuna, but triplets akahay. Ali na ke batse ba kso ke ba bona. Mara ke re mme wa hao ore ba ko Soweto. Ba la leng khono wa hao. Ko a godisweng teng. No, I don't know who to Soweto. No, I'm not relative rona go Soweto. Mona o shojwang a ke re bana ba go Soweto le wena o ba bone ara hai a ke se ba bone ke thusi snap sona se o mpontshang sona. That's the only photo I have. So the children are not in Soweto. I have not seen them. Then something rings in my head. There's something rotten here. I then go to the social worker. It happened that the social worker had prior dealings with her. She knew about her problems with me, not giving her money, not driving her to hospital, not supporting her and all that shit. So she knew about my existence prior to that. And I asked her, please, can you follow this up for me? Can you find out legally if the kids, I give them the name Maya, Toba, and Oriela, if they are registered in the Home Affairs, either in my name or in her name. A week later she comes back. No, we cannot find evidence of that. You cannot find evidence of that. Fuck, this is getting serious now. So the children are not there in Soweto. I've never seen them after they were released. There is evidence they are not registered in the Home Affairs registry. Then she must have given them up for adoption. So I go back to my private investigator. Engelbrecht, this is what I find. He says to me, listen, I am aware there was a syndication operating in public hospital between 2015 and 2017. A child trafficking syndicate. It's not actually trafficking. What they do, they've got buyers overseas, people who don't have kids and who want South African kids. So they would then target hospitals, public hospitals. You know what is happening these days. 15-year-old girls give birth to children. So the nurses would then target those and get them for adoption and give them 5,000 or 10,000. So he says to me, I'm aware there was a syndicate operating from Malelane in Mpumalanga. But the ringleaders were people in Mozambique. So for me to follow that lead, it's going to be involved. And we're not looking at 2 months, we're looking at 3 years. Because it's going to be a multi-stakeholder involvement and it's going to be forensics as well. But I cannot do anything now. until she's out of the hospital, until we get her old phone, not the current one, the old phone, because we need that so that we can then subpoena records from MTN or Voda. We can then trace between this time of the release of the kids who were the communicating links, and we can then triangulate. We can find out if she has met them or not and what happened after that. That is when then the penny drops are being played. But it's not just this woman has taken kids and moved them from Soweto. Chances are she is part of this thing. When did she become part of it? I don't know. This is the next leg of my investigation that I must do. Did she play me for a fool? I don't know. Was she a victim of the thing? I don't know. These are the things I need to find out myself. But what is abundantly clear at this point is that my kids are gone. Gone probably to different parts of the world. Because you cannot at OR Tambo, if you don't have parents, both parents' consent, you cannot put them on your passport and you cannot take them out of the country. So they must have been taken individually and probably sold to buyers, one in Ghana, one in Nigeria, one in Malaysia. Chances are she might not even know who the buyers are.
You mentioned something quite interesting, saying that the social worker had prior communication about your relationship
With her, yes.
with her. One of the things that you mentioned was that you guys had fallen off, and she mentioned that.
She mentioned that to the social worker to make me look bad.
Okay, so would you perhaps put that as something that constituted her to have the right to even put this?
Yeah, she was creating the basis for her to run away with the kids, because the father doesn't want me, the father doesn't want to see the kids, the father has got nothing to do with the kids. Therefore, it is within my right to do what I want with my kids. And I have spoken to social workers, and the social workers couldn't help me.
Do you remember the name of the social worker?
Yeah, it's Mokhetwa
Mokhetwa Mokate.
Mokate, yes.
I have communication with her.
I have asked Mokhetwa to help me find out from her side what I can do. This communication happened because I only became aware of these things in June or July this year. When the story, because my thing was, all right, now you've got 10 people. Chances are the 3 and the 2 you wouldn't have time for. The 2, the father is dead, somebody can take care of that. But the 3, the father is alive, bring back my kids.
Yes.
That's when then she vanished.
So the last time you communicated with her was when?
When I confronted her at the clinic.
Okay.
This is now just shortly before Pete broke the story of the 2 couplets. Because she's highly pregnant.
This is this year?
Yes, this is here.
And you can confirm that she was pregnant?
I see her in the pink thingy, and she's on crunches. Because her feet, her legs are swollen. So she looks like a woman who's heavily pregnant.
And this is at the clinic or hospital?
No, at the Sangweni Clinic.
Sangweni Clinic?
Yeah.
How far is it from here?
4 minutes and a half.
Okay, so you would say that was the community local clinic that she was attending?
Yeah.
So they would probably have records?
No, I wouldn't say attending, because Pete wrote stories. She was sitting outside. But actually it's a shop, there's a shop there. So from the shop I could then see her, and then I went to her. I want to know where the babies are.
Okay, so but there is a possibility, as someone who was heavily pregnant and staying so close to this community clinic, that there is a chance that she might have sought medical attention from them.
That would be pure speculation on my part. I have no way of knowing that.
Okay.
Remember, we are no longer communicating. She's no longer staying here, and we have, what, 2.5 years not seeing each other at that point. So I would be lying if I say I knew that.
Okay. You confront her. What does she say?
Yeah, I tell her, look, you are having 10 babies. So I need to raise my own. Can we make arrangements so that I can bring them here? That point she vanishes. That's when then this man takes her away from here to the place where it was.
Which man?
The man who claims to be the husband now.
Now?
So dates.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's when he takes her and they go to...
They vanish.
They vanish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the next thing I read from your newspaper is that she's been committed at West Office.
The other thing I want to come to is that you mentioned that she's a person that you cannot really say will tell the truth, even if it meant that it's the only thing that would make them survive.
I think psychologists call them pathetic liars.
Pathological liars.
Pathological liars.
Yes.
She is that.
The reason why I'm asking this is because I'm going to a point where she is now instituted in a medical, in a mental institution. And this is done without her consent or the father's, the 10 babies' fathers. This is done without consultations with any of her family members.
So she claims.
So she claims.
Yes.
Okay. In your previous encounters with family members, did you ever encounter